Disclaimer. The discussion above about Cassie and P. Diddy's relationship is used as an illustration to highlight the dynamics of toxic and abusive relationships in general. The focus is not to single out any specific individuals or make assumptions about their personal lives. It is important to recognize that abusive relationships can occur in various forms and affect people of all genders. The goal is to shed light on the complexities and challenges that individuals in such situations may face and to promote understanding and support for those who are experiencing abuse. People are asking why Cassie stayed in a toxic relationship with Mr. Sean. I'm seeing a lot of people on the internet saying, why did she stay in this relationship? And it's coming from a lot of men. The problem with this is that a lot of men are looking at it from man's perspective. Because as a man, nobody can hold us to ransom. If we don't want to be in a situation, we have the strength and the power to leave. Don't get me wrong, a lot of men stay in toxic relationships as well. It's not just women, but many of the men who say this are looking from a man's perspective. Now, the problem is when it comes to toxic, abusive relationships, it goes both ways. But in this case, we're going to focus on abusive men. They know who to target. They go for not strong-minded people, but more so for individuals who have a soft nature, are non-confrontational, very introverted, and have a kind nature about them. And they know who to target. For example, someone like Cassie gets into a relationship with a toxic person. And it's not like on the first day they show their true colors. It's not as if they end up being in a relationship in the first week and then get physically attacked. And this is something that builds up over time. Not only that, but a lot of these individuals like P. Diddy, who are powerful, have money, high status, and a very strong influence not just amongst their peers, but also in the world. Someone like this can have a strong hold over someone. Now, why is it difficult for someone like Cassie to leave? It's because when they get into a relationship with someone like P. Diddy, he is very skilled and calculated. He makes sure to cut off their family and friends from her life so she has no contact with her support system. She has no control over her financial situation. So when she does go through rough patches, she has nowhere to run to. She can't run anywhere because she doesn't have any money. She can't turn to people like her family and friends because she has cut ties with them to the point where they have lost contact. So you see, it's not as easy as it sounds. Now, especially when we focus on the situation between Cassie and P. Diddy, we see that P. Diddy and Cassie started dating when she was 19 and he was 37. He had a lot of life experience. He's powerful, a big executive guy, a CEO, and he was in control of a career. She's coming into the game and going into this relationship with P. Diddy. She's probably naive to a lot of situations. And this is a case of someone abusing his power. There are stories that go back and forth saying that in some situations, Cassie might have been aggressive. But I find it hard to believe that someone so young who entered this relationship could have been the aggressor. If she did end up being aggressive, in my humble opinion, I think it's because she started fighting back, just like Tina did in the limo against Ike Turner in the movie What's Love Got to Do With It. So there is a lot of misconception because many men are asking, why didn't she leave? Obviously, one thing to note as well is that these types of individuals these toxic people create a sense of dependency on their victims. They instill a lot of doubt in their victims' minds to the point where sometimes they don't even realize they are victims. They are likely brainwashed to think that they are the ones at fault, the ones making the aggressor angry. So sometimes you have to take that into consideration. You know, I don't want to make this a gender war issue of who's wrong and who's right when it comes to men and women. It goes both ways, but if we're discussing this specific situation, then we all know who the aggressor is. So I just wanted to add my 2 cents to this and debunk the misconception of why Cassie didn't leave the relationship. Cassie may have stayed in a toxic relationship with P. Diddy for a variety of reasons, including manipulation, control, financial dependence, isolation from friends and family, and fear of leaving. It is important to understand that leaving an abusive relationship is not always as simple as it may seem, especially when the abuser has power and influence over the victim. It is not fair to blame the victim for staying in such a situation, as they may be facing numerous obstacles that make it difficult for them to leave. It is important to offer support and understanding to individuals who are in abusive relationships rather than judging them for their decisions.